What do we mean when we talk about justice?
For me, in terms of the law, the court's justice is equity and fairness to all parties.
I'd want to feel as if I'm not being judged based on interpretation. Of course, that's about the law.
For me, justice means that there is a level playing field between the people who enter the courts.
In the Caribbean and around the world, citizens want and expect fairness in the application of justice. Yet research has shown that gender is a factor that can negatively impact the delivery of justice. Women face far greater challenges than men in receiving fair treatment. The Canadian-funded JURIST Project is being implemented by the Caribbean Court of Justice. In partnership with UN Women Multi-Country Caribbean Office, it is working to establish global best practice in gender-responsive access to justice in the region.
My name is Gloria Richards-Johnson. I'm the director of the Judicial Reform and Institutional Strengthening Project, better known as the JURIST Project. We have done certain studies that have indicated that there was not a sensitivity to issues related to gender in the region. Everything we do in the JURIST Project, gender is what we call a cross-cutting theme in this particular project, as a result of which we look at everything through what we call a gender lens. We also would like to see a certain amount of predictability in the law to ensure that the law is dispensed in a manner that's fair to everyone concerned.
JURIST and UN Women have partnered to support 3 key interventions in the Caribbean. The first of these is the development of draft gender protocols for judicial officers. The Gender Equality Protocol is intended to promote awareness of the ways that gender affects the justice system and its users. It also provides tools to help judicial officers recognize and minimize the impact of gender bias. To date, Barbados has been presented with draft protocols to assist in the development of their own. Belize and Trinidad and Tobago have already developed and launched their own national protocols.
We're here today to know that eliminating gender inequalities such as violence against women cannot be achieved without trust and faith in our judicial system. And this protocol covers the nexus of justice, development, and gender equality, going beyond the topics related to intimate partner violence and sexual offenses, but also focusing on how we can best ensure that women like that survivor get the justice that they deserve.
These protocols have had the greatest impact on my conception of equality and equity. I'm now convinced that access to justice must include the realization that just getting into the courtroom is significantly more difficult for some, based on their wealth, sex, gender, social status, age, physical limitation, and other challenges, and how these and other factors intersect. I recognize that I have a role to identify power imbalances and apply a gender perspective to protect the vulnerable, ensuring equality of results, not just process.
The second initiative delivered gender sensitization training directly to judicial officers in Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Belize. Judges and magistrates attended sessions which underlined the importance of gender-responsive adjudication in the administration of justice.
Beyond questions of poverty and education and language, there are systemic undertones in both the public and the private sphere that affect us in terms of gender. And the data, the statistics, it's a non-starter. It affects women more than men. So through dealing with the experiences of women, the issue of gender and any questions of equality come to the fore. And one of the first things that I would like you to understand is that when we speak in the context of gender and when we speak in the context of equality, we are not speaking in a way that is to exclude men.
And finally to the island of Antigua and Barbuda, which is leading the way with a comprehensive system of support for victims of domestic violence and sexual offences through 3 interconnected services.
In about the middle of 2017, the Directorate of Gender Affairs established the Support and Referral Center, which is known as the SAC. The SAC is there to provide support to victims of sexual offenses, whether male or female. We now have the Special Victims Unit, which is established and is situated at the Directorate of Gender Affairs. As a result of that, you have victims who feel that they receive a better service, not only from the Directorate, but also critically from the police force of Antigua and Barbuda.
So this room is our conference room. Within this room, our clients receive the intake process, which is basically they would explain to us the reason why they've come into our center, and our intake officers will provide them with a range of options and services that they could select to begin their healing and recovery.
Antigua and Barbuda has been identified as the ideal jurisdiction to have the first ever sexual offences model court within the Eastern Caribbean.
I will not bow down to injustice. I will stand. I will stand against rape culture. No means no.
We are pleased to see that Canada's contribution to the judicial reform through the funding of the JURIST Project has enabled the establishment of this unique and specialized court that will, above all, ensure a fair trial for defendants and preserve the dignity of survivors of sexual assault. This Sexual Offences Model Court is a perfect example of the Government of Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy in action. One of the policy's key objectives is to strengthen legal systems and to promote reforms that eliminate all forms of discrimination against vulnerable people, including women, girls, and vulnerable men and boys. It is our hope that all stakeholders will work assiduously to ensure the sustainability of the Sexual Offences Model Court, and that the court will, as the name suggests, become a model court that all other CARICOM jurisdictions will adopt.
There remains much more work to be done beyond the justice system to bring about comprehensive social transformation in the lives of men and women, boys and girls. But with the support of the Government of Canada, JURIST and UN Women, and the commitment of regional governments and institutions, the Caribbean is taking meaningful steps on a path to providing a fairer and more equitable judicial system for all of its citizens.